Good morning, friends. Welcome back. Today I would like to talk to you about something a little bit different. I'd like to start by reading you a list of symptoms. Lovers of self, lovers of money and material objects, proud, arrogant, abusive, disobedient to parents, ungrateful, unholy, heartless, unappeasable, slanderous, without self-control, brutal, not loving good, treacherous, reckless, swollen with conceit, lovers of pleasure, having the appearance of godliness or goodness. This list that I've read to you probably sounds very familiar to you. It sounds like a list of symptoms of RAD, doesn't it? Well, it's actually a Bible verse. It's 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 5, and it says, "But understand this, that in the last days there will come a time of difficulty, for people will be lovers of self, lovers of money, proud, arrogant," and so on down this list. This is a spiritual condition in the last days, and the Bible has told us that in the last days there will be people like this. Now, I have gone to churches and talked with people who do not want, it makes them angry to hear this. But it's the truth. This is the truth I'm telling you. I didn't write this. This is from the Bible. You can look it up for yourself. Again, it's 2 Timothy 3, 1 through 5. I'd like to point out where it says disobedient to their parents. Nowhere in the Bible does it say adults obey your parents. It does not say that. Nowhere. It says multiple times, children obey your parents. It tells us adults to honor our parents. And there's a difference between honor and obey. While you are a child, you obey your parents. So this right here, disobedient to their parents, tells us this is not just the heart condition of adults in the last days. This is including children. You can take that or not. That's up to you. But I wanted to bring that to your attention. Psalms 127:4 says, "Children born to a young man are like arrows in a warrior's hand." An arrow is a weapon. According to the Bible, we are in a spiritual battle all around us. We see through physical eyes and cannot see in the spiritual. But we are in a spiritual battle. Even Hollywood recognizes this with movies about good and evil, good versus evil. 2 Corinthians 2:11, so that Satan will not outsmart us, we are familiar with his evil schemes. Now, the reason that I point this out is because the devil would want to use our children against us as a weapon. He doesn't play fair. He's not going to play fair and children are off limits because they're innocent. He's not going to do that. The King James version of that verse says, "Satan take advantage of us so that we not be ignorant of his devices." The definition of devices is tool, implement, instrument, also a ploy or a trick, a maneuver or a tactic, a scheme. It's underhanded. It would be underhanded for him to use our children. He's not above that. And this is why I pointed this verse out to you, these verses out to you. Because if we think that he is going to play fair, then we would never look at this as a spiritual issue. Scientifically, if we look at these things scientifically, for those of you who do not believe in spiritual things, let's say a psychopath or a sociopath, because we don't really hear a lot about adults being called RAD or having reactive attachment disorder. They going to a therapist, they will give them another diagnosis, either psychopath, sociopath, or antisocial personality, or one of these that have very similar, if not the same, symptoms as a RAD child. These, I'm just going to use a psychopath as an example, or a narcissist. You could use a narcissist as well. They don't just wake up some morning as a legal adult, they turn 18 or they just turn 21 and they just wake up as a psychopath. These things were learned, they were practiced, they were skills honed all through childhood. They didn't just wake up that way. These things that, that old saying, practice makes perfect. These are skills that they have learned through their childhood. All of us can look in our own lives and recognize certain people in our lives that are very controlling or very manipulative. We usually avoid these kinds of people and remove them from our lives, or try not to have them in our daily life so much, because it's easy to see that there's something not right. I can name a few off the top of my head in my life, but some people are just a lot better at manipulating and fooling people than others. The reason I'm bringing all of this up is for those people who are not on board with the parents of RAD children. As a RAD mom myself, I want my daughter to grow up to be a happy, healthy, productive person in society. And I guarantee all of the other RAD parents out there are wanting that for their children just as much as I want it for mine. When we have opposition, family members, friends, school staff, even churches, when we have opposition believing the RAD child, first of all, why would the parent lie? Why? Especially when a doctor has given a diagnosis, and in my case, my daughter was in a treatment center for 2 years, and the treatment center verified all of the behaviors that we had said we had seen here. All of those behaviors had been very recognized there as well. So it's been verified by other people. When these things have been verified by other people, why are you still questioning if that RAD mom or RAD dad or grandparent, or whoever is in that parenting role, why would you still question why they do the things that they do, why they parent the way that they parent? We are trying to help our children while they're young to learn these things they need to learn to be a healthy adult. We are being taught by therapists, by doctors, by treatment centers how to do that. Some of the parenting ways that you see that do not seem right to you are not how you parented or what you view as correct or right. There is a reason that we are parenting the way that we are to help that child get to that happy, healthy person as an adult. And when outside people believe that RAD child, fall for the manipulation, fall for the triangulation, it is enforcing in them that their skills are superior. When that rad child manipulates you and fools you into believing their lie, or whatever it is that they're trying to convince you of, they are viewing you as weak-minded. They view themselves as superior, that they were able to fool you, and they're just a child. Now, I know this because this is what my daughter has told me. This is, her and I have had these conversations. It has been talked about in therapy. She views those people who believe her as foolish. She sees herself as superior-minded because she was able to convince you of something that wasn't true. That is convincing her to continue honing these skills. Stand together as adults, not fall for the behaviors, not fall for the poor me look on the face, not fall for the triangulation or the baiting. When they say something that catches your attention and it makes you want to question, what about that? They're baiting you, and that's a control tactic to see how well they can control you, to see if they can lead you into a conversation that may not even be true. This is why it is so very important for family members, school staff, and everyone out there to trust the parents. Although it may not look like they're doing something normal, well, they're not raising a normal child. They're not. They have to parent differently. We want our children to grow up to be healthy, happy adults, and we want these other skills that they're trying to perfect, we want those squashed. We want those removed from their arsenal. Proverbs 18:13 says, "To give an answer before listening to the facts is both shameful and foolish." Just because someone thinks that they know, you don't know. You don't know the head games. You don't know the mind abuse, the mental abuse. You don't know. Proverbs 18:2 said, "Fools have no interest in understanding, but only want to express his own opinion." A wise person will do research. A wise person will look into all of the facts. A wise person will look it up. Knowledge is power. For those of us who are Christians, we need to pray for discernment in these last days. We need to be wise to the enemy's devices. People are falling for simple childish manipulation, and they're falling for it because it's coming from a child and looking beyond just an expression on a face and what words are being spoken. Because with a rad child, as we know, their words do not match their intentions. John 7:24, "Do not judge by appearance, look beneath the surface and judge correctly." Even Samuel in the Bible was told by the Lord, when you go to anoint this new king of Israel, do not look at his appearance. And the reason the Lord said that was because David, who was king, David's father presented Samuel with all of his other sons. And Samuel, after, inspecting each one, talking with each one, said, "No, this isn't the one that the Lord wants. Do you have any other children?" And he said, "Well, there's David. He's out in the field with the sheep." He wasn't big. He wasn't strong. He wasn't a mighty warrior. He didn't look like king material. But the Lord said, don't look at appearances, because appearances can be deceiving. We cannot look at the appearance just because it's a child. Now, Now, my telling you all these things is not because I'm saying, come against them, they're evil. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying we need to be wise and know how to pray, know how to not be deceived. Knowledge is power. So if you know what it is, then you know how to pray. You know a little more how to handle it. When you know what it is, you're not going to be deceived. Once light has been shown on it, you can see it clearly. I just wanted to make you aware. There is, these things can happen in children, and they do. These spiritual things. You know, like I said, the list of symptoms that I had given you are from the Bible of how people will be in the last days. And I do believe that that list includes children because of that one verse, that one line that said, disobedient to parents. Nowhere in the Bible does it tell us as an adult to obey your parents. It says to honor your parents. So that right there tells us that children are included in how people will be in the last days. So I guess knowledge is power, like I've said. So once we are aware of what it is, then we can know a little bit more how to handle it. Anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. I hope this video helps. Of course, I always hope they help. I will be praying for you, and I do hope that you are praying for me. So you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.